The womb of the black woman must be protected. It's sacred. It's not something to be played with, right? Right now, what they're trying to do, create artificial wombs, artificial insemination. Some people worry about the wrong AI. Artificial insemination is literally the labs where they out there trying to make clones. Artificial ingredients, that's another AI. I've been breaking down because you have to understand AI numerical value is 1-9. A equals 1, the I is 9. And numbers are letters. So when you see things from a mathematical level, then you see beyond and you see different observations, right? And you understand this so-called, because that 19, that's a God number, right? It's a number of truth. So you can only, when you try to clone that and you try to replicate that, you're trying to make God. And this is where you have to understand, how is the plantation being made today? Right? The same tactics, just better resources. Same exact tactics, much better resources. So in the Barbie movie, a Barbie movie was supposed to be, from what I read in this Times article, which is funny because the Times article sounded like it was dissonant, but it was their way of actually giving love to the movie. Like, I guess the effeminization of the male is now a good thing, you know, and media. So they can just say this is about male fragility and things of that nature. So they said the movie was about male fragility and super feminism and creating this utopia of feminism where women do not need men and men cannot see themselves in a women's world, and what all men do is play war games and talk about killing and murder and bravado, and they forced to be an incel, which was, you know, essentially somebody who has to be voluntary celibate, but this was involuntary celibate because so-called in the article they say Barbie ain't want blood. You know what I mean? Because he was too much of a man. So I guess the Barbies live in like this imaginary like lesbian world where they just run everything and play with each other, right? And so the whole tagline of he's just a Ken is like, oh, he's just a boy. It was always supposed to really kind of like downgrade the man in the situation, right? And it's a Barbie world, right? It's a play on this a man's world, right? So it's interesting because nowadays you got the archetype of what? You know, the new Barbie is what, Ice Spice. You know, the old Barbie was Nicki Minaj, right? And Nicki Minaj always talking about everybody's a clone of her. Yes, that's the way it works, right? They just create clones of the same thing until they get one that work. And she's been passing the torch to this new Barbie, which is Ice Spice. You know, we got this Barbie world where this is this fake world. It's not real. And the real world is what people don't want to live in. Everybody wants to live in their fantasies. In Greek philosophy, is called the puer artelis and the puer arter. And it speaks on the boy living in the fantasy world, right? Because you got to remember, Peter Pan was about a boy basically and his Barbie journey, his Ken journey, living in an imaginary world, being afraid of the adults. The man was the villain. And so the boy never wants to step into the world. He just imagines his potential but never lives it out. He has no successful relationships with any women. He has nothing that he actually does and produce. There's no responsibilities that he take. He just lives in this imaginary world. And he looks at the real world as too hard for him to tackle. So he only picks up things, right, that enamor him, things that don't require real work or real ethic and things of that nature. That's all he wants to be. And it's the same thing with the Barbie girl. Usually the Barbie only wakes up. The girl that's the Barbie only wakes up when she goes through pain. Otherwise, she lives in this bubble. I don't want to deal with the world. I want to be this NPC character, this non-playable character. I don't want to be with a woman. Think about being with a man is too much. A man thinks about, or a boy rather. A girl says she don't want to be with a man. You know what I'm saying? Because her mind is so much as a girl. She doesn't want to be his woman. She wants to be his daughter. And it means she wants to be his daughter. She wants to be his princess. Because that's the way Disney has sold. Oh, be my princess. Right? Because the princess does not have to have the responsibilities of the queen. But yet, she gets the indulgences of the kingdom. Come on, man. And see, the boys don't want to be king. They just want to be prince. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to actually have to step up to the responsibility of running the kingdom and actually having accountability on how things are done in this world. They want to push it off on everybody else. Hey, bro, you a king. I'm following you. Well, you a king too, follow yourself. So we have a Barbie and Ken, a prince and princesses. So, it's a programming that's being played on the psyche of the mind to not grow beyond certain limitations. Because then you become an effector of reality. You step out in the world, and if you are a ruler in your own right, if you seek things for what they are, you will actually start affecting and making change. You will have thoughts and you will follow them through. Nothing is hard for you. Being a man is not hard for you. And because we don't have a society that goes, and this is where you have to look at parenting and rituals, because a lot of it's not society per se. It's what happens in the household of them not having a ritual that prepares you to go from the womb, right, to the tomb, right? The womb to the streets, to reality. Because when you are in your parents' reality, this is an artificial womb that is being created for you. We will make your food. We will tell you when you can eat, when you can sleep. We will drive you around. We will handle your responsibilities for you. We will manage you. And so in all cultures, there's always a rites of passage. In the kingdom, the animal kingdom, that animal has to learn to hunt for himself so that he can be prepared for what the world is. Because if you're too weak and if you're protecting the cubs, they can't go out there and protect themselves. So we have to look at the way we've done parenting in society has not been preparing, it's been protecting. Right? And so somebody who's protected their whole life is not prepared and they can't protect themselves. So the rites of passage, is the key. Native American, take that child, they send him out in the woods, boom, you got to go hunt for yourself, survive for yourself for 3 days. He goes through this psychological upbringing where he's breaking the bubble on his mind saying that, oh, I can do this myself. Oh, I can do this myself. Oh, I can do this myself. I'm prepared for the world. The world is not so scary. I can handle this. But we have a world now where these motherfuckers be 30, 40 years old and they ain't prepared for the world. Be old and ain't prepared for the world and don't ever want to be. And look at it as like this is like some weird responsibility, and it actually makes you more powerful. But if you don't want to step over to that other side, you ain't gonna get it. It eliminates the fear and you actually live more free. But this idea of freedom is more so illusion today. So when people talk about they want freedom, they really don't. They want comfort. They actually don't want reality. They do not want responsibility. Definitely don't want accountability. Do not want to be judged for anything. Don't want to be shamed for anything. Because in the real world, there's judges. In the real world, you feel shame when you do things that's not good in the real world, but you want to live in this fantasy bubble world where you're a non-playable character. And so often you got to get your heart broke. Somebody got to die. Something got to happen. You got to get in an accident. Life got to hit you. Boom. And you got to handle it. And when you handle it, you like, you know what? I'm in the real world now. Damn it. I'm up. All right. I'm up. I'm out the dream world. I get it. I can't handle this. Let's deal with this real life shit. So right now, you got a lot of people, and this is why it's so hard in the dating pool, because everybody's living in their truth. And the most dangerous saying on the planet Earth is living your truth. Because of what it means to everybody is something different. So when everybody gets to live in their own delusion and their own idea of what the truth is, nobody's living in reality. It's like you have a bubble, right? And then we live in this fear of reality, but you living in this is what this word means to me. Oh no, you say today is Monday, but I think today is Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? Or you say it's light outside, but I think it's dark outside. Or you say I'm a boy, but I think I'm a girl. Or you say I got to make money, but I think I can just sit and do nothing and then just manifest the universe. So everybody's living in their truth while ignoring the truth. Come on, man. We live in a very interesting world. And you know, this whole Barbie thing, what is this doing? It's taking a person back to this childlike state. But this delusional childlike state, not the creativity. Because if you want to be creative, right? Like that childlike state is being creative. Being youthful is being creative, right? Is doing things you love and loving things that you do. It's a certain spirit, but people have delusion it to this point that it's about having no accountability and it's about not being in reality. That's not the childlike state. So people don't want to grow up. They act like they gonna die, they grow up. It's a fear. So you know how hard that is being this man in this delusional ass world? People don't want you to speak the truth to them. They don't want people don't like when people straight up and you know what I mean? Everybody playing these characters, this fake ass shit. I ain't gonna lie, it's hard dealing with it. It is very hard. Cause I just see a lot of people, I can see people. Because I'm deep in myself, I see my own flaws where I need to grow. And the deeper I go in myself, the easier it is for me to see other people. Because I've been there already. I can see where you haven't traveled, I see where you have traveled. Oh, it's sad. It's so much fakeness in the world because everybody's living this version of themselves, this character that you've gotten from a game or a movie or I don't know, some fantasy that you just made up in your head. You want to be a lizard or something. You want to be a bird. People just start picking characters, you know, and that's what happens in a demoralized society. They've done that in Asia. Great. They've done that to the Japanese and the Chinese. The Chinese and Japanese be walking around like they anime characters to keep them in a childlike state so they never become adults, so that they never have the ability to critical think against those at the top. It's the game, man. Y'all don't know how hard that shit be, man, dealing with people who don't want to be real. People don't want to be real characters. Everybody want to be cloned to the next person. You don't even want that. Man, that stuff, I ain't gonna lie, it be hard. It affects all my relationships throughout life because I'm a real person and I see real things. And I want to deal with it in a real manner. And I don't want to accept their truth. I want to accept the truth. But only time you have to tell people to stop judging things and when you know there's something to be judged. When you know there's something that it doesn't sit right with you, doesn't sit right at all, doesn't make sense, not right, morally wrong or corrupt or just weird, you got to say don't judge. It's like a warning label. Don't see this in terms of reality. Don't even look like this is real. Don't look at this from a critical thinking, logical perspective at all, and you will be okay. And you good like that. A person can walk up with them ugly red boots on and a red nose and don't judge, bro. He just going through. You know, usually they do that to kids. You know what I'm saying? You see a kid he just all messed up and he just want to wear whatever he want to. You don't judge kids because you know they ain't got no consciousness. But an adult, they supposed to know full and well what they're doing and they're supposed to do things that actually make sense. So you got, you know, don't even judge them. You know, that's what you do for people who are mentally challenged, right? Mentally challenged kids slobbering all like this. Don't even judge them. You know what? And now we got a world that's mentally challenged, so we got to walk around like, I'm not even going to judge you. Bunch of mentally challenged kids out here. A whole mentally challenged society. It's cold, ain't it? You know it's something wrong with him. You know what? That boy's slow, ain't he? I ain't even going to judge him. That boy's slow, I can tell. That boy's slow. God damn, that boy's slow. That girl crazy. That girl slow as hell. She crazy, ain't she? What's going? Why she doing that? Why she wearing that? Why she say that? What she do? Oh, don't judge them, bro. They lost their goddamn mind. That's why we gotta say it so much. And then when a person doing something you know is wrong, you know what I'm saying? Don't shame them. Don't shame them. Oh, well, how many times you gotta tell a person don't shame? Because when I grew up, that's a damn shame. I grew up on that's a damn shame. Y'all grew up on stop shaming people. And they put a shame next to everything. Ugly shaming, fat shaming, demon shaming. You know what I'm saying? Bald shaming. It was a shaming. They just throw the shaming on everything now. They just shame. Because normally the normal mind, that's a righteous mind or a moral mind, it has to feel bad about things in order to feel good. Right? It has to know what eternally is not right. But when that feeling is cut off and you don't have that compass, right? So now you don't even feel bad for doing things that's not good. Right? So now you don't have the opportunity to make a change because you never felt the shame. You don't stay in the shame, but the shame allows you to change. That's not where I want to be. That's not what I want to feel. You know, they say when you do the one night stands, you got to do the walk of shame. They call it a walk of shame on purpose because you know that's not what you want to be doing with your life. You know that's not who you are. You know you just fell into your whims of desires and pleasure for the night. But you supposed to feel that little shame so you don't make it a lifestyle, right? And the problem is that we're taking things that's supposed to be lessons, or maybe a person can get grace to do things of messed up times a few times, but we're not allowing people to ever grow out of it because we don't allow people to feel shame no more. So we disappoint ourselves over and 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 never feel the shame. Dang, that boy good. And when you go out in the world, man, you gotta understand, that who cloned Tyrone thing was dope because of the idea of cloning itself. And I think a lot of people keep thinking of it only in a physical sense, but like, who are you a clone of? Who are you a clone of? Because we are all a clone of somebody. We have somebody ideology, somebody thought, the way we think about sexuality, the way we think about spirituality, the way we think about finances, the way we talk, the way we walk. We are all a clone of somebody. You have to decide who you're going to be a clone of. Some people are clones of, niggas. Some people are clone of revolutionaries, right? Some people are clone of God. Some people are clone of demons. Where do you get your mind from, your talking points? And you get to decide and design yourself. So Tyrone was a clone of the archetype of the drug dealer, to where there's people that become that over and over and over, and that becomes their identity. Then there's some that are clones of the gangbanger. Then there's some that's clone of the intellectual. There's some that's clone of, the suckers, and some that's clone of the 9-to-5 workers, some that's clone of the nerds. You know what I'm saying? There's all kind of different clones. Who are you? I know where I take my influences from. You know what I'm saying? And then I know the ones that I originate and do it in my own way at the same time. See, some people say I never fitted in a box. I'm not a clone of anyone. But you're not the first person to say that. So you are the clone of the people who don't fit in a box. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, the person that says, I'm different. Yeah, you're the same as everybody else who thinks they different. And I'm not saying you're not special, but I'm saying what you have to do is recognize where you are to get to where you want to be. And it's nothing wrong. And this is this poison that we all have to be something completely different than everybody in the world. And that's when it's disrespectful to what was there before you. I honor thy ancestors by being like them, but in my way. Right? And so that idea that you don't want to be like nobody is this thing that they put in your head. It's okay to be like good people. It's okay to be like great people. Right? Because you're taking the greatest attributes, the greatest morals, the greatest intellect, the greatest thought processes, and you're adding those to you and developing yourself based on that. You know what I'm talking about? Then you good. But that whole, you gonna lose your mind trying to figure out how you be different than the last trillions of people that was on this planet. That's crazy. No, draw from it. Use it. It's a power. It's a power. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love those who came before me. I love drawing from the spirit of my ancestors, man. They have so much power. I'm going to continue to pull from that power. That's what it's all about. I'm not about to say, I ain't nothing like them. Nah, shit. The way Malcolm spoke, I want to be able to speak like that. The way Minister Farrakhan was able to bring in 1 million people at once. I want to be able to do that. I want to clone that for sure. Where Unobliged Muhammad was able to transform the world, you know what I'm saying, through the knowledge that he gave to the world. I want that. The way Marcus Garvey was able to influence a nation to change, to design his flag, you know what I mean, a representation of his movement. I want that. I want to be able to rap like Jay-Z and be creative like Kanye. Jay's in the cut said those are all Freemasons. So you trying to tell me that all of the black men, that was the top black men, was all Freemasons, man. Y'all can cut it out. Cut it out. Y'all watch too much YouTube, man. You a clone of the same dudes who think the same thing without actually doing any of their own research. And this is the problem with Black America specifically, is that everybody, in Black America, everybody's a problem. There's a group of Black America that hates everybody. They hate the brother that's a Muslim, the brother that's an Israelite, the brother that's a Hebrew. There's nobody for y'all that's perfect. Not one person in history. Everybody was something wrong. Like, you gotta chill. You gotta relax. And that doesn't even allow you to appreciate your past, your present, or your future. And it allows you to take no truth in consideration whatsoever. And that's the most dangerous thing. When they get you to fight against every example that you've ever had and find something wrong with every single last one of them.